We got no wrestlers in there, but we got the ring. Okay, Dave Brown, Lance Russell, ready to bring you the opening bout here with David Oswald going against Karl Fergie. Now we have flesh and blood ready to go on Championship Wrestling, and Davey for the official introduction.
All right, we'll start on the left side of the ring. From Jonesboro, Arkansas, 222 pounds, David Oswald. And going against him from Atlanta, Georgia, 228 pounds, Karl Fergie. This will be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match. There's your referee, Paul Morton.
Okay, we got the aggressive youngster, David Oswald, in there. We got the bell, and across the ring from him, a guy that really a capable wrestler, Karl Fergie. Dave?
This should be a fine match. The word underrated has been used to describe Karl Fergie many times. He's a fine wrestler. He's looked good in the months that he's been around the area. Oswald, as you mentioned, well, he doesn't back up from anybody in the ring. He has become an especially aggressive young wrestler recently. Fergie yanked him off his feet, put him down on the mat. Karl wrapping up that left arm. You see Oswald grab the shoulder. That's where all the pressure goes. There's a twist on it. There's a little extra pressure. Forearm by Karl Fergie. Arm up behind the back. Hammer position. Oswald trying to work his way back to his feet. He's up on one knee, now on his feet, but Karl Fergie still maintained the hold. Well, not for long. Reversal by Oswald, but Fergie reverses him right back, and Karl Fergie in control again. Minute 20 seconds into the action. Oswald with a flip. He was going to try to break it. Karl Fergie was hanging on tight, though, and Fergie still has the advantage. Oswald using combination forearm and fist. Fergie into the rope. Shoulder butt by Fergie coming off there. He was set. Now he steps over. Oswald waits. Fergie reverses in. Oswald back for more. Karl Fergie drops him down. Bars the left arm. There is Karl Fergie from Atlanta, Georgia. Fergie put a little extra pressure on the hold, but had to break it briefly as Oswald was set to move when he had the chance. Karl Fergie still has the hold. Oswald backs him into the corner. Back in that corner, referee Paul Morton is calling for a break. Fergie had to give up the hold. Oswald grabs a headlock back in the corner. Fergie fires it into the rope. Oswald has the shoulder butt coming off of there. Fergie lets him go by, sets himself. It's in. There's a cover, one. One count is all he gets. David Oswald breaks the cover. Well, there's a 2 count. Signal by referee Paul Morton that he did get a 2 count. But 2 is not 3. You have to have 3 to win a match. Karl Fergie grabs that left arm again. He's been working on Oswald's arm most of the match. We're 3 minutes 45 seconds into it. It's a one-fall match. Overall time limit 15 minutes. Karl Fergie, a little upper arm pressure.
Sure, at least 50 or 80 times I have said on Championship Wrestling that Fergie, when you get up next to him, is a lot bigger than he looks like on TV. You've noticed that too, haven't you?
Yes, he is a rather tall, very solid individual.
Well, you got that right.
Boy, he has kept the heat on Oswald's arm. It takes quite a bit of strength. Given a guy like Oswald is smaller, but he's quite mobile. He can move around rather easily, but Fergie has kept him tied up most of this match, and he's done most of it by hanging onto that left arm one way or the other. Oswald,
yeah, there he goes.
Firing that right fist. Upper arm, that was all right. With Fergie into the turnbuckles. Oswald goes in after it, but Fergie was gone when he got there. Oswald bounced harmlessly back to the center of the ring. Oh,
good forearm.
Yeah. Fergie, upper arm, hammers into the mat. Another forearm by Fergie, and a cover. 1, 2 count. Again for the second time. Count of 2. 5 minutes gone. Oswald using the forearm and or the fist. Fergie puts him into the ropes. Abdominal stretch he's going for. I think you may have him.
Boy, and Karl has got the height to put it on. Beautiful. And he just shoves David Oswald down. A little irritated that Oswald started the cheapy stuff of wailing and knocking on him like that, and Karl didn't take him very long once he got that dander up to get that abdominal stretch on him, Davey.
He got it. He held it 5 minutes, 27 seconds. The time on it and the win for Fergie.
Yeah. Karl was involved in a match. Not really. It wasn't by his own design that he intended to. He was sitting in the corner of Handsome Jimmy is just to kind of negate the presence of Jimmy Hart when Handsome Jimmy was involved in a match with Tommy Rich. Well, circumstances developed to where Handsome Jimmy won the Southern Heavyweight title by Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich took great exception to Karl Fergie's part in that, blamed him for the loss of the Southern Heavyweight title and many other things. The Championship Wrestling cameras went to listen to Tommy Rich rant and rave about it, and let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Karl Fergie, you redneck country bumpkin, you know you want to be a superstar. You tried it down there with Jimmy Valiant last week. You know, you've never made big money. And I'm sitting here adding up and subtracting how much money I've lost by what you've done, you know, last week. You cost me my title, Fergie. Whiteville, Tennessee, you want to be a superstar. You know, you talk about country come to town. But when you come from Whiteville, Tennessee, brother, and come to Memphis, Louisville, Evansville, it don't matter what town, that is country come to town, brother. And Fergie, you're not no superstar. You've never made big money. You know what it is to lose a title match. You know, and the sad, sick thing about it is, you know, I asked Jimmy Hart, I said, Jimmy, give me the chain. I got the chain, and then I stuck it in my tights. I reconsidered. I said, no, that's not the right way, man. You can whip Jimmy Valiant without a chain. So I stuck it back in my tights. Now, who wanders around the ring and grabs a chain but Karl Fergie, the little country bumpkin redneck? You know, you and all of your country redneck friends, Fergie, you're going to need somebody. Because I've done a lot of thinking. I thought, well, now do I go after the title or do I teach somebody a lesson? You wanted to be a superstar. You wanted to be big time, Fergie. Well, you're going to find out what big time's all about. Because just like I said, I was in line for Robinson. After I beat Valiant one more time, I was top dog. That may be the #1 contender here, which meant I was the new great white hope. Fergie, you cost me all of it, brother. You cost it all in one night. You wanted to be big time. Well, I told the promoter, if he wants to be big time and wants to fight or wrestle, and Fergie, I'm telling you something, just like I said, I've been doing a little figuring right here on my pad, how much you cost me. You know, and I said Muhammad Ali predicted the round, brother. Well, I'm going to predict the round because I'm going to lay you down and I'm going to wear and I'm going to tear your head all to pieces, Fergie. My ladies, they went crazy when I come home and told them that Karl Fergie, they laughed at me, Fergie. They laughed. Said, you let that country redneck outsmart you, Tommy. And I had to tuck my head and say, yeah, I did. Well, Fergie, Let me tell you something, brother. I've got with the promoters. You usually get everything your way. Well, I've got it my way now, Fergie. I'm coming after you, country boy. You better get all of your tobacco-chewing redneck friends and have them down there hooping and hollering. Because after I get through with you, it's going to be the last time, Fergie, anybody gets to hoop or holler or anything else for you, brother. They'll be in mourning after I get through with you. Because that's exactly what I plan on doing, is destroying you, Fergie. And I don't care where it's at, man. You have had it, just like on black and white paper. I said you cost me a lot. And when I get you in that ring, country boy, you're going to find out exactly how much you did cost me.
Well, there's Tommy Rich, and I think the intention was certainly not what Rich said about being a superstar or what. Karl was doing what he was there for. But anyhow, Rich took major exception to it, and those were his comments regarding Karl Fergie. We're going to take time out. We've got Sonny King and the Angel coming in here. We'll be back to that right after we take time out for this. Back to Channel 3's Championship Wrestling coming up in just a moment. Tuesday night right there in the Gardens. Boy, batting it down because hospital elimination match is going to be coming up with Dundee, Yamamoto, Gypsy Joe, and Dr. Bill Irwin. Also Billy Robinson, non-title bout. He'll be talking to Karl Krupp in the language he understands. And then there's going to be a match between Tommy Rich and Karl Fergie. Standing here with Karl, I got to say that Tommy had a lot of things on the TV show that everybody's watching now, Karl, to say about you. A lot of derogatory about your rural background and so forth. And if I'm honest, I got to say that Tommy obviously is going to be the favorite in the match, Karl.
That's true, Lance. He will be the favorite. And it's true that I am just an old country boy, but Tommy Rich, you shouldn't underestimate this old country boy.
I'll tell you what, I think you said some words of wisdom right there. Look out for Karl Fergie. That'll be some kind of match. As well as a fight. Hospital elimination. That means balls don't count. Nobody's eliminated until they are bleeding. Bill Dundee, Tojo Yamamoto, Gypsy Joe, and Dr. Bill Irwin. Bill?
That's right, Lance. You said you used the right thing when you said a fight. I've tried wrestling them, and nobody seems to want to wrestle them more. They just want to fight. Well, let me tell you something, Dr. Bill Irwin and Gypsy Joe. You better come prepared to fight, because when Tojo Yamamoto and the superstar got wound up last week, the referee saw fit to stop it. Now, I'm not hard at the referee. That's what he's there for. But this week, there's no disqualification. There's no nothing. When one guy gets busted open, he goes back to the dressing room. Another guy gets busted open, he goes back to the dressing room. Well, Tojo Yamamoto and the superstars got your number over in Gypsy Joe, and we're going to beat you, and that's a problem.
Well, I think both of you guys, everybody knows, at one point were as good of fighters as there was down the line. If that's what it's going to be, it's going to be one whale of a fight there.
Well, that's right, Lance. We've tried, like I said before, we've tried to wrestle, but they don't want to wrestle. They want to fight. They want to jump in and hit you from behind, but there's none this week, brother. They got to meet us on face to face.
Look for you. Tojo and Bill Dundee. See you there Tuesday night. Big action. Action that took place in the Coliseum involving Jerry the King Lawler, we mentioned a moment ago. We'd fill you in a little bit later. This was a few days back when Lawler took on killer Karl Krupp. It was, in fact, against everybody's advice, his doctor's advice, tried to not get him involved in the cast match and all, but Jerry just was so intent on getting Krupp after Krupp had goaded him and all of that sort of thing. The match took place. Let's take a look at some action from just a few nights back with Jerry the King Lawler and killer Karl Krupp.
Well, that stick nails Lawler, while the referee over with Krupp. And killer Karl again attacks Lawler. His foot in that cast, when he tries to push off with it, is slipping. But with that cast, he's dropping it down on the leg of Jerry Lawler. Krupp pounding Lawler. Midsection. The King takes a real shot to the face. But in Lawler fashion, he is durable as can be. Never seen anybody more durable. Krupp trying to get over to Jimmy Hart, but Lawler going after him. grabbing Hart. Punches him down to the floor. And what a body slam, or rather, not a body slam. Whoa, Lawler dropped with a cast. That's dangerous. Boy, he's really got it in for Krupp. But he's also a little crazy to drop on that broken leg. Of course, he's dropping that durable cast. Blood now. Krupp's head is busted open. Where Lawler dropped on him with that heavy cast. It's a thick cast, not as heavy as Krupp. And Krupp now bleeding profusely from about the head where Lawler has pounded him with that cast. The crowd hollering one more time. Lawler drops. 1, 2. He got him. 3.
Well, following that match, Dave, everybody, of course, was delighted that Lawler got his hand raised and the victory over killer Karl Krupp. Jerry was in tremendous pain in the dressing room after that. And what happens with that bone, as we saw in the X-ray in there, every time a least little bit of movement on it, dropping down with a cast and so forth like that when Krupp was going, it was in a cast, but it was able to move a little, and the healing process stopped in there. The break bowed a little in there, and unfortunately it put Jerry in a setback again and all. So I was, sorry to see that. Jerry did it, something he had to do. Okay, hey, this guy we told you a little bit earlier was going to be out here, and we're talking about the world heavyweight champ, Billy Robinson. Billy, appreciate you coming by. We've asked Billy to come in and sit down and give us a little expertise and advice on the commentary here. And Billy, you've been traveling, and I appreciate you taking the time to be here with us today to at least give us.
Well, I've had a tough schedule in defending the belt against men like Lou Thez, who was just a superb wrestler and a great athlete, and now I'm looking for a little rest before I go to Japan. I go to Japan to defend the belt in a short while.
Yeah, I knew you had that, and if we have a chance, I don't know. I'd like to get some action going. If we get a chance, we'll talk about that Japanese tour next.
Super.
Okay, thank you, Billy, for staying right here, if you will, and we'll get the next action going in. Big killer Karl Krupp is going in a rematch we had on Championship Wrestling before with Eddie Gilbert, and on the surface of it, it looks like a total mismatch with Krupp at about 263 and Eddie at 208.
You can't say that. Eddie Gilbert is one of the most fantastic young athletes I've seen in any sport and professional wrestling. He's got the benefit of having his father with him as far as experience goes, and he's certainly going to be a future champion as far as I think.
With Jimmy Hart out at ringside with killer Karl Krupp, Tommy Gilbert comes out to the corner of Eddie, and there is an argument ensuing now about it.
Russell, get Donnie Marie Osmond out of there, baby. We ain't gonna look at that. I've got a manager's license. Look at his old man. Didn't I tell you? Every time anything, look at him crying over there. Daddy, daddy, daddy. Oh, baby, come on.
You got Jimmy Hart with you.
Oh, man, come on. My fingers are hurting. My hands busted open. Wake up, man.
Every time I wrestle this young Eddie Gilbert, and I am ready to destroy him, his daddy comes and interferes, jumps. You think I am crazy, Mr. Russell? You think I am nuts? You think I am going to go in that ring with that father of his in the background?
I'm sure that if you stay out and Hart stays out of there, if you'll get in, Hart stays out.
Is my official manager. He is not my partner. This man and his son are wrestling partners, and I absolutely refuse.
Karl, the match is getting ready to start. Get him in there, Paul.
Why don't you tell him to put up or shut up instead of talking? Get in there and wrestle.
That's exactly the sentiments I've got on the thing, Billy. If he just go ahead and get in there. Okay. Eddie Marlin's ringing the bell. The bell is ringing. Okay. He's got the count going.
Go right ahead.
All right, you got the count going. Karl, you better get him in there.
8, 9, 10.
Well, I
nothing to worry about. I do not care less. You think I am a dummy, as you say in this country? You think I have no brains? You actually believe that I will step in the ring with the Gilbert, with both of them? No. This is a scheme. I have other things to worry about. Jimmy Hart and myself, we are celebrating. We are celebrating the fact that we destroyed, as you name him here, the King. The King Lawler is gone. And we are celebrating the new King, my good friend, Jimmy Hart. But let us have a drink.
Little champagne.
Come on. Just give us some of the bubbly.
I think you can choose the fact you're the one that ended up losing the match.
Would you like a little
No,
drink?
I don't. No, I don't care. No, just get it out of here.
Yes, good.
Look.
How about you, Mr. Robinson? Would you like a little bit of the bubbly?
Take your champagne and whatever and just take it on out of
As
here.
you-
You lost the match just
as
like you
you
lost the
know-
match to Lawler.
As you know, Mr. Lawler is the big loser. I kept him inside that ring as long as possible because I realized with my superior knowledge of broken bones that the longer he stayed up on his leg, the more it would be damaged. And I laid my body down and I was the decoy. And the man fell for it. Ha! He fell for it. He dropped his... Do you see my head? Do I look like I am hurt? I am here. Hale and hearty. I am in good shape. But Mr. Lawler is not here. Mr. Lawler...
Okay, Jimmy. Then.
Mr. Lawler is hurt and he is upset because his wrestling career is done. As I will finish the wrestling career of Mr. Jimmy Handsome Valiant and Mr. Dundee Superstar and Mr. Jerry Jarrett and Mr. Tojo Yamamoto, or whatever his Spanish name is. It does not matter. I will take care of all these flatheads in this area. I am the king with my good partner, my prince, Mr. Jimmy Hart, and I, King Killer Karl Krupp. We celebrate you down for Mr. Lawler, and we are celebrating.
Seven-day wonder, Valiant.
If he's the greatest, how come he's not sitting back here with a heavyweight championship belt on?
What are you talking about?
If you're talking about him being the greatest, how come he's not?
This man here, he is a coward. He is a coward because this man has been challenged by the European champion, Killer Karl Krupp, on many occasions. I have challenged this man to a championship match on more than one occasion. But the promoters are cowards.
Best of luck with this guy.
All I want to say is that, as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't deserve a chance at the title because he's not up there. But the only guy he could beat is a man with a broken leg. He's not fit.
Anything more out of somebody like that. Okay, I'll tell you what, we can take time out here and get well. Dundee, Tojo Yamamoto going against the team of Ken Wayne and Frank Savage in there. Frank, big fella out of New York City. There comes Dundee. He's geared up and ready to do it today. Tojo comes in, and we're almost ready for the official introduction. on this 1-fall, 15-minute time limit tag match. Referee is Paul Morton. Okay, Dave, let's go with the introduction.
All right, at a total weight of 460 pounds. On the left of your screen, from Memphis, Tennessee, Ken Wayne. From New York City, Frank Savage, going against him at a total of 444 pounds. From Australia, the superstar, Bill Dundee. And from Japan, his partner, Tojo Yamamoto. 1-fall, 15-minute time limit. Referee Paul Morton.
Paul trying to get one on each side. Dundee will be starting on the far side, and on this side, well, I don't know yet whether Savage is going to open up with him. He goes over to say something to Dundee. No, it'll be Ken Wayne. Bell time.
Ken Wayne, Bill Dundee. As action is underway, tag team match. Remember, it's 1 fall only. Dundee doesn't let him keep it long. He sends him into the rope. He jumps over and rolls him down to the mat. Ken Wayne rolls out of the ring. He's down on the floor. Going to have a conference with his partner, Frank Savage. Referee Paul Morton calling the count. It's at 6. Frank Savage starts in. That's not allowed. Ken Wayne has to get back in here because no tag had been made. Now Savage comes in. Frank Savage, New York City, about 260 pounds. Here comes Tojo with the chop. Tojo Yamamoto as Frank Savage lying on a mat. Savage over to the rope. Tojo has to break the hold. Look at that chop by Tojo Yamamoto. Savage says, I've had enough. Back to the corner. He tags Ken Wayne. 2 minutes gone. Tojo with the chop. Double chop. Wayne. Tojo back on the rope. Tojo whips Wayne across the ring. Whoa! Ken Wayne, thinking he had outsmarted Tojo, turned around to be greeted with one of those vicious chops. Now Mr. Savage back in. Only briefly, though. Mr. Savage now steps back out onto the apron. Back in. Frank Savage, Tojo Yamamoto. Here comes the superstar after the tag. Three minutes gone. Frank Savage, Bill Dundee in this tag team match. Savage with a knee lift. Dundee's head into the turnbuckle. Ken Wayne holding Dundee up from outside on the apron. Using that top rope to choke him, too. Little Australian has a cover. 1. Ken Wayne is there to break it up at the 1 count. Well, Dundee, hot about it. He came back to the corner. He was going to grab Wayne, yank him into the ring, but Frank Savage got him. Tojo in there to even it up a little bit. Oh. Savage took a swing at Tojo, and Tojo chopped in. Dundee working on Ken Wayne. Tojo working on Frank Savage. Everybody in there. And the partners meet in the middle of the ring. Ken Wayne, Frank Savage. Tojo, Frank Savage. Stay in the action. Dundee back in the corner. Ken Wayne slowly making his way back out onto the apron. 4.5 minutes gone. Oh, good drop kick by Dundee. Big Frank Savage hits the mat. A cover. Down to one, and again Ken Wayne interferes. This time Dundee grabs him before he can get back to the corner. Now Savage has Dundee from behind. Ken Wayne climbing the rope. Tojo is there. Well, it makes it even again. Well, maybe not. Ken Wayne grabs Dundee and starts choking him. Ken Wayne with a whip across the ring. Dundee catches himself, presses him to the mat. 1, 2. It's all over. 5:23.
5 minutes, 23 seconds. Superstar Bill Dundee, Tojo Yamamoto. Billy with that flying press off the second rope on Ken Wayne. And he caught him beautifully right across the upper body, took him right down, stayed. Back to action here in the ring in just a moment here on Championship Wrestling. Want to tell you about Tuesday night when Coco Ware opens up against Big Frank Savage. Sonny King and the Angel will be in a Southern Tag Team Championship match as they'll be trying to take it away from Tommy and Eddie Gilbert. Southern Heavyweight Championship match. Tom Stanton, another big one out of New York City, going after handsome Jimmy Valiant, who was also from the Big Apple, in a special challenge match. Karl Fergie, who just doing what he had to do, ended up in a beef with Tommy Rich, and you better believe that that's one that is going to be an interesting one. Tommy Rich may underestimate this young man. Non-title bout. Billy Robinson, the CWA World Heavyweight Champ, without the title on the line. Killer Karl Krupp will be his opponent in there, and I think by now that you probably know why. Then the final bout will be a hospital elimination match where falls don't count, no disqualification, no stopping of the match. As a matter of fact, the wrestler is eliminated when he is cut. You be there Tuesday night. Wrestling action continuing right along now. We're about ready to get back in the ring with Dr. Bill Irwin and Gypsy Joe as they will be in there. We're going to get them running past on the way to...
Hey, I was just in there watching the monitor, and I saw where I was watching the monitor where you ran that little tape of the matches the other day, huh?
Yeah.
Did you see where that little squirt Dundee got in with his big wooden shoe and hit me? Huh?
Yes, I did.
He tried right there to defeat me with a shoe, with a wooden shoe.
That's true.
And he could not do it, could he? He couldn't beat me. And when he saw that, he became very frightened. He started to quiver at the knees. And he was down on his knees begging the referee to stop the match.
Oh.
That's what he was doing.
I wondered.
Huh? Did you see him? I saw him. I was there. He was in there squirming, crawling for the referee to get back and knock off the match, right? Huh?
I don't think
Did
he was,
not, did
I
not.
don't think
Hey,
he was
if I'm
begging for
lying,
anything.
Hey, wait a minute. Yeah, if I'm lying, where are they? Bring them out here. If I'm lying, get them out here in the ring, and we'll show all the people one more time where they are. Maybe they need for us to get down on our knees so that we're short like them two little geeks, so that they'll be afraid, not be afraid to fight us. Come on out here.
Just hop in
Where
the
are
ring
they?
and get ready to go.
We got
a match.
We have a match in here with these two little... Well, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Hey, they're bigger than Tojo and Billy Dundee.
Tony
They're
Boyles
bigger.
and David McGee
They're
waiting
bigger.
for you.
We
How
might
about
have a
this
harder
ring?
match here with these two than we did with the other squirts.
Right, you're right.
They were talking about a hospital match. I heard them mention hospital match, didn't they?
Yeah.
Do the good people know what a hospital match is?
Yeah, we've told him about it,
The
Bill.
good
They
doctor
understand.
knows what a hospital match is.
bet.
I tell you what I'm going to do. Me and my gypsy friend, we're going to go in here and take the two little geeks and show you just exactly what a hospital match is all about. Here we go, folks. A hospital
If you're
match
big
right
enough,
now.
you just climb right on in there. Okay, Davey, we're ready to go with the match, I think.
This is going to be an expiration of time match. Team with the most falls to their credit when the time expires will be the winners. Introducing at a total of 380 pounds from Arkansas, Tony Boyles, and from Louisville, Kentucky, David McGee. Going against him, total 455 from Romania, Gypsy Joe, his partner from Duluth, Minnesota, Dr. Bill Irwin. To the expiration of time, referee Paul Morton.
Okay, bell time and off and running with Dr. Bill starting against Tony Boyles. Tony, fine young wrestler, goes with that arm drag in there. Yes. Bill Irwin hip tossed over by Tony. Tony is from out of Oakfield, Arkansas, or somewhere like that.
He's from Arkansas.
Yeah, right. Okay. And his partner from Louisville, Kentucky, David McGee, as Boyles goes up top with a wrist lock. He's got Irwin down, bending the arm back. He's a little low to get all of it, but Irwin is tall, long arms and all, and I think he's trying to get it in order to be able to hook up and put that pressure back on it. Irwin, as he comes up, has a handful of hair, and Boyles forced back. Nice tag. Reached out and got David McGee. And David hooked the arm of Irwin, and all of the things that they were going to do to these little squirts in there. Coming off with a monkey flip. McGee right into the corner. But Irwin, strong, big, doubles him over with a right. Going for a headlock. Bill Irwin hanging on to David McGee. Referee Paul Morton, Gypsy Joe, look at Irwin. Takes him up, puts him back down in a side suplex. He just lifted him straight up and bombed him down to break that hold. Irwin takes him to the corner, makes the tag on Romanian Gypsy Joe. Expiration of time match. McGee now under the onslaught of Gypsy Joe. He is really nailing him with that foot, I'll tell you, David. Drops that knee hard on David McGee. Irwin up there hollering about Tojo. Watch, this is what we'll do to these little guys. And takes the tag from Gypsy Joe. There's Irwin with that. It still amazes me how high he gets with those knees and feet. David trying to battle back with him. Bill Irwin stepped inside of a right that McGee was going to throw and jabbed him. The referee jumping on him about it.
He caught him with the point of the fingers, no doubt about it. Head into the turnbuckle. Joe with a jab now. David McGee, boy, he needs to be about a foot closer to that corner. He got a tag on Tony Boyles.
Tojo yo-yo.
McGee does not get the tag.
Irwin better concentrate on the match he's got instead of making all the derogatory remarks about Yo-Yo, Tojo, and Bill Dundee and all of that. Off the rope, Gypsy Joe whipped into it. McGee caught, backdrop. He takes Joe over. Gypsy Joe, stunned, went to the wrong corner, and Tony Boyles welcomed him in. McGee going after him in there, starts stomping on Gypsy Joe. McGee drops with a big elbow. He covers him, but he didn't even get a count out of it. Joe snapped him out of it. Popped him in the midsection with a foot. Calls for a knee, and he rams McGee's head right into it. We're in the first ball of this expiration of time, Dave. We still got some time on our wrestling action, so we'll get a chance to see it. Knee into the rope, knee to the midsection. Dr. Bill Irwin. Yeah, Gypsy Joe. Tojo, we mentioned before, was a former partner of Gypsy Joe's, and they ran into bad blood. David McGee slammed into the turnbuckle. Tag going to Gypsy Joe from Dr. Bill Irwin. Boom, to the midsection, and McGee dumped down in the corner. Boyles a long way away. All the way across that ring is Tony. He can't legally do anything to help his partner at all. Bill Irwin on the outside tags back in, and David McGee is whipped into the ropes by Bill. Gypsy Joe nails him with a forearm coming in. We're coming up on the 5-minute mark in the first fall of action, and that is it. Got the 1, 2, 3. He met him with a forearm, dumped him down, and a 1, 2, 3 takes place.
4 minutes, 55 seconds.
4:55. Just first fall goes as Irwin and Gypsy Joe getting a little repetitious with their comments about Tojo and Bill Dundee. We're going to be back with more wrestling action for you in just a moment. Right away, Dr. Bill Irwin out, as well as Gypsy Joe.
Not a lot of time remaining, but Dr. Bill and Gypsy Joe grabbed him. They immediately went into the ring, and action all over the place as Bill Irwin is working on David McGee. Gypsy Joe has Tony Boyles. Irwin and Gypsy Joe, one fall up in the match at this point. They won the first fall in just under 5 minutes. Gypsy Joe's got his hand wrapped around Tony Boyles' throat. He's choking him. Referee trying to break that up.
We only got a minute left in here. We still have all 4 of them in the ring with Gypsy Joe and
Superstar Tojo. Irwin and Gypsy Joe said they wanted him in there all the way through the first fall. Well, now they got him. The match is over officially at this point.
Referee stopping this fall, Dave.
Ball is over, right.
All the comments that Dundee and Tojo were the recipients of from Irwin and Joe during that first ball of the match. Let's see if we can bring it up.
Dundee working on him. Dundee really pounding Dr. Bill Irwin on the mat. Tojo with that shoe.
Davey, we're going to see if we can get this stopped, but right now we got to take time out, and we'll be back here. Let's see if we can get it stopped.
All right.
Wave Country's Championship Wrestling coming up here back in the ring in just a moment. Do want to remind you, Tuesday night right there in the Louisville Gardens. Son of a gun, what a great night of action. Tommy Rich and Karl, Fergie, Billy Robinson, Killer Karl, Krupp, and Dundee and Yamamoto against Gypsy Joe and Dr. Bill in a hospital elimination. And I want to say that the folks have already seen, Jimmy Hart, what you and Killer Karl did to Billy Robinson about throwing champagne all over him. No excuse for that.
Wasn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Oh, Hawkeye, Billy Robinson. Finally, we get a match with him, but it's not even a title match. Boy, what's wrong with him,
He
man?
didn't think Karl deserved one.
Oh, big deal. Look at Karl. Look at this. The greatest professional athlete in the world. Look at him. The Clark Gable of professional wrestling. Look at him. Woo!
The European champion. I am the champion of one continent, which is 1/5 of the world, and that is Europe, mister. And I am not on the 10, not number 1 on the 10 list. It takes a carcass to lure a bear out of its den, but it did only take 1 glass of champagne to lure Mr. Robinson out of his den and to lay his body on the line. Maybe not his championship belt, but you may rest assured, Mr. Robertson, if you have any pride as a world champion, that when I am through with you, you will be forced. Yes, I, Killer Karl Krupp, the European champion, will force you to lay your world championship belt on the line. And then I will be the new world champion, and we will once again celebrate with champagne.
I would say this, that if you beat Billy Robinson, you can bet he'll have that title on the line. But you just may have succeeded in waking that sleeping giant. Tuesday night, you'll see it all. Louisville Gardens. Hey, we got it all. Yeah, you just get in the ring. We got it stopped finally, and Irwin and Gypsy Joe out here hollering about, yeah, Dave, I guess here we go. We still got some time. Irwin and Gypsy Joe back in with Tony Boyles and David McGee. The second bit of action was just kind of negated and stopped when Tojo and Dundee hit it.
Did McGee come over that top rope then?
Yeah,
through the ropes,
fired into the ropes and over the top rope. Boyles is out on the floor. McGee being shoved back in by Bill Irwin. Just pay attention to that. We've had all that we want to hear, Irwin.
Gypsy Joe making liberal use of the chokehold today against David McGee.
Tony getting back up on the ring apron over there after being bombed out on that floor. We've got a total about 5 minutes left on Championship Wrestling. Our expiration of time, we've got about 3.5 minutes. Irwin with McGee, picks him up, body slams and goes after Tony Boyles while Gypsy Joe goes to the top rope, hammers down on David McGee. Yeah.
High stepping Bill Irwin again. Caught McGee in the midsection with the side of the foot.
Sunset flip, he got him down. The Gypsy Joe broke it up.
Ooh.
Don't start that stuff again now. We had enough brawling, all we want to hear. David McGee taking quite a shellacking from Gypsy Joe. Ooh, very difficult.
Got a little over 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes left to wrestle. Time beginning to run very short.
We can't run too short, too quick for David McGee. He has been caught in there. And Joe really pounded on him. He tagged Dr. Bill Irwin, and a good doctor coming back in. McGee has been under real heavy attack. Slams him into the turnbuckle. McGee makes a tag on Tony Boyles. How much time we got left? Got about a minute and a half left to wrestle, Davey, as Dr. Bill Irwin flies across. Buries it down. There's the cover. 1, 2. Ah, broke the hold. Broke the hold. Slams Tony Boyle into Gypsy Joe. Time running out here, and I think purposely Irwin and Gypsy Joe, just to prove how tough they are. They've got Boyles and McGee going, so the time running down as the victory is going to be going to Gypsy Joe and Bill Irwin, no question. Ooh. Tony Boyles taking quite a pounding. There's a tag on Bill Irwin. That's it. That's all the time. We just stop it. If they had the opportunity, but they wouldn't. Bill Irwin would not make the pin, and they got both McGee and Boyles going in there. And boy, I'll tell you, just get them out of there. Boyles caught with Gypsy Joe and Bill Irwin holding him. Okay, Dave, our time running out here. We're really not going to have, I don't think, enough time to recap it. It's been kind of a disconnected last part of it, and one of those days when it was in the air, as Gypsy Joe and Tony Boyles, and that'll cost Gypsy Joe for laying a hand on the referee. So, as we come down, we still haven't got this totally stopped. We will take time right now just simply to remind you that next week Championship Wrestling will be back. We'll be looking for you where the roughest, toughest action and too much of it today takes place every single week. Be looking for you for Dave Brown, Lance Russell.